What's up, you guys? I'm the Slasher Movie Reviewer, and I've seen The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises takes place 8 years after the events of The Dark Knight, and this is just not gonna work. This isn't gonna work. I'm sorry, guys. This isn't gonna work. It's The Dark Knight Rises, and if I'm gonna review this film, I need some Hans Zimmer. Now, The Dark Knight Rises takes place 8 years after the events of The Dark Knight. We see Gotham in a state of depression. It opens up with Commissioner Gordon, and he's not happy, he's depressed, he doesn't understand whether or not he should come out and tell that Harvey Dent really isn't the White Knight that we believe that he is, and that Batman is the real guy who saved the day at the end of The Dark Knight. Unfortunately, what Bruce Wayne doesn't know from all this time and being in hiding is that there is a new mercenary on the rise, and his name is Bane. And Bane only has one goal, and that is to just full-on destruction to Gotham. He wants to tear Gotham down, rip it to its core, and just blow it sky high. I'm going to end right there, and I'm not going to go any further because any further would be a giant spoiler. However, I will tell you that I freaking love this movie. It's Christopher Nolan, and in Nolan we trust, and in Nolan he delivered the goods. This film was fantastic. Tom Hardy is menacing as Bane, and you can see that just through his eyes. There's a sequence where they're fighting and stuff like that, and Bane just grabs Batman's hand, and you can see it in his eyes, or whenever he's talking to someone, and he is dead on serious, and he is just a killing force, and it's so menacing and thrilling and very suspenseful to watch. Now I'd like to talk about my main man, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This man can act, and he's so versatile in all of his roles, and I really like what he brings into this movie. He's actually one of the most developed characters in this film. He's a city cop, and he really cares for Gotham, and he's one of the few uncorrupted cops still left in Gotham, and you can really feel that he really cares about Gotham, and he's very developed. You're probably wondering, how are the action sequences in this film? The action sequences are breathtaking. There's a flying sequence in this film that took my breath away. It was so cool to watch. The fight sequences are so choreographed and so hard, and you can feel and hear every bone cracking in Batman's back as he's getting hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered by Bane. It is menacing, it is terrifying to watch. I mean, Batman truly has met his match in Bane, and it's crazy. There's a sequence in this film, and it's so beautifully directed that I felt like I was looking through the eyes of God, which can only mean one thing: Christopher Nolan is God. Could go on and on and on and praise how menacing Tom Hardy was at Bane, and how he totally represented Bane in the menacing, evil, cruel way that he is. But honestly, for me, Anne Hathaway is the one who truly steals the show. She is by far the best Catwoman portrayed today. Now, I'm not going to tell you right now which of the Dark Knight Trilogy is my favorite. They're all so good, and they're all so different. Not by the way Christopher Nolan portrays his villains in each different ways, but also each film is strictly different in its own. If you like the first films or origin stories altogether, you're going to love Batman Begins. Is going to be your favorite. If you like crime stories with heavy in dialogue, then The Dark Knight is going to be your favorite. But if you like an emotionally driven, like straight up war movie, then you are going to like The Dark Knight Rises. Honestly, I can't really say, I don't want to say which film is my favorite, and I definitely right now don't want to say if I prefer this over the Avengers, for the fact that honestly, I actually don't know right now. I'm going to have to see this film a couple of times before I can actually really give y'all an answer. Dark Knight Rises was simply the epic conclusion that I personally couldn't have been more satisfying with. I have no complaints about this film. This film was everything I wanted it to be. It was epic, it was grand, it was enormous. The movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes, yet it felt so short. The only real gripe that I can make about this complaint is the same gripe I can make about the final Harry Potter film. I wanted it to be longer. I wanted it to be longer. This movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I wanted it to be longer. I could have had a 3-hour epic conclusion, and I would have been fine. The Dark Knight Rises is perfect on all respects. As a score goes, I'm going to give The Dark Knight Rises a perfect score. This film is just absolutely flawless. Now, if we could please turn the music down a little bit. Now, unfortunately, not everyone could have had the cinematic experience I could have. As you were informed, a masked vigilante, as one would call, entered a theater and started shooting up people. And I just want to take the time to give my condolences to the victims and to the families and everyone there who was involved in it. And it really, really hurts me to say, because movies are my life, and of all things, midnight showings, they're just memorable. They're just one of the most memorable experiences of my life. Going into a packed theater at 12 o'clock a.m. in the morning, it hurts me to know that someone violated that right for them, and it's outright appalling and disrespectful, and it hurts me because movies are my life. There you have it. I hope you really enjoyed my review of The Dark Knight Rises, and I hope you guys please see this film. Go check out this film. It is just fantastic, and it simply doesn't disappoint. And I'm curious to know, what is your favorite Christopher Nolan film? For me, Inception. It's so original and so mind-blowing that it just blows everything he's done out of the water, and I don't know if he'll be able to top it. But he is Christopher Nolan, so you never know. Yeah. And so until next time, you guys, I'm the Slasher Movie Reviewer, and you guys just been slashed.